Introducing the ASrock Radeon RX 6800 XT Taichi X, 16GB OC Edition graphics card or GPU, which is this graphics card or GPU has a engine clock, which are boost clock, game clock and base clock, and for the boost clock is up to 2360 MHz, and for the game clock is up to 2110 MHz, and for the base clock is up to 1925 MHz, and 4608 of stream processors, with 72 of compute units, and for the memory size is it has 16 GB, with GDDR6 of memory type, and 256-bit of memory bus, and it has a PCIe 4.0 by 16 bus standard, with digital max resolution of 7680 by 4320 at 60 Hz, and it has 4 multi-views, and for the size of this graphics card, or a GPU is 330 by 140 by 56 mm, and this graphics card or GPU is ATX PCB Form, with DirectX 12 Ultimate, and 4.6 of OpenGL, and for the recommended PSU on this graphics card, or a GPU is 800 watts, and it has a 3 8-pin of power connectors, and for the output on this graphics card, or a GPU which is, it has 2 DisplayPort 1.4 with DSC and 1 HDMI 2.1 with VRR, 1 USB-C, and it can support HDCP. And this graphics card or a GPU has a overview features, which are a RGB backplate, 4 video outputs, ultra-fit heat pipe, polychrome sink, 3 8-pin power connectors, reinforced metal frame, air deflecting fin, striped axial fan, and Taichi 3 cooling system. The 4 video outputs, which are 1 HDMI 2.1 with VRR, 2 DisplayPort 1.4 with DSC, and 1 USB Type-C. The polychrome sink, which are built-in a RGB LED, a RGB fan, LED on-off switch, and a RGB pin header. And for the OC edition on this graphics card, which is a great performance, which means is to delivers great performance, which is more higher than reference cards based on the solid hardware design. And for the Taichi 3 cooling system features, on this graphics card or a GPU, which is for cool and silent, which means is crafted for the best balance between the thermal efficiency and silence by all the details. And it has a striped axial fan features, which is designed for enhanced airflow, which is ASrock's custom striped axial fan delivers enhanced airflow to optimize cooling from not only the stripe structure on each fan blade, but also the polishing surface on the bottom side. And it has air deflecting fin features, which is to guide airflow, to go through regularly and quickly, which means is to guide the airflow, to go more regularly and quickly, to enhance the cooling efficiency by the V-shaped cutting fins, and the V-shaped air vents. And it has ultra-fit heat pipe features, which is consolidated to maximize the contact. Which means is the heat pipes are consolidated to maximize the contact among each others, and also the GPU base plate for the optimized heat dissipation. And it has a nickel-plated copper base features, which is to maximize GPU contact area. Which is with premium copper base heatsink design, the direct contact area to the GPU would be maximized to improve thermal transfer effectively. And this graphics card or a GPU has a high-density metal welding, which is to improve heat dissipation. Which means is effectively isolate all coverage of the gap between pipe and stacked fins, hence improve heat dissipation effectively. And it has a nanothermal paste, which is a perfect thermal teamwork, which is to eliminate the gaps in the contact area, to maximize heat transfer and thermal efficiency. And it has a premium thermal pad, which is for better heat transfer. Which is the premium thermal pad helps to transfer the heat of the components to the heatsink, improving heat dissipation. And it has a precise screw torque, which is to optimized mounting pressure. Which is the ASrock adopts precise screw torque when assembling its graphics cards to optimize the cooler mounting pressure to improve thermal efficiency while avoiding damage to GPU. And this graphics card has a 0 decibel silent cooling, which is a spin for cooling, stop for silence. Which means is the fan spins when the temperature goes high for the optimal cooling and stops when the temperature goes low for the complete silence. And this graphics card or a GPU has a polychrome sync features, which is with the integrated ARGB LED. You can create your own unique colorful light effects which can also be switched on and off. It can also be synchronized with your ASRock motherboards that support polychrome sync. And it has a LED on-off switch, which is on or off. Switch as you want. Which means is you can switch not only the built-in ARGB LED, but also the ARGB LED equipping with the connected strips devices at once. And it has a ARGB pin header, which is more ARGB, more fancy. Which means is with the ARGB pin header, it can connect ARGB strips devices to make the lighting effects more rich and vivid. And it has a reinforced metal frame, which enhances the structure to prevent the PCB from being bent. And it has a stylish metal backplate features, which is a solid, fancy, cool. Which means is designed to avoid PCB bending. The fancy outlook makes the graphic card more legendary and visual. It also helps to enhance cooling with the premium thermal pads equipped backside. And it has a dual BIOS features, which is a dual BIOS design allows users choose preferred setting by switching between the P4, performance, BIOS and Q4, quiet, BIOS. And it has a USB-C features, which is by the USB-C port included. This graphics card enables seamless integration into your life and hardware setup. And this graphics card or a GPU has a super alloy features, which are Dr. MOS, Premium 68 power choke, Nichicon 12K black caps, 2 ounces copper PCB, matte black PCB, and high density glass fabric PCB. The Dr. MOS, which is the integrated power stage solution which is optimized for synchronous buck set-down voltage applications. Intelligently delivering higher current and driving up to 68 continuous current for each phase, thus providing improved thermal result and superior performance. The Premium 68 power choke, which is compared to traditional chokes, ASRock's Premium 68 power chokes effectively make the saturation current up to 3 times better, thus providing enhanced and improved V-core voltage to the motherboard. The Nichicon 12K black caps, which is a supreme 12K black capacitors with lifespans of at least 12,000 hours. Compared to other counterparts on high-end motherboards that merely have lifespans of around 10,000 hours, ASRock applied Nichicon 12K black caps that offer 20% longer lifespans and provide more stability and reliability. The 2 ounces copper PCB, which is using only carefully selected copper materials for PCB layers, 2 ounces copper PCB delivers lower temperature and higher energy efficiency for overclocking. The matte black PCB, which is a new mysterious matte black and copper color scheme to match the prestigious components on ASRock's high-end graphics card. The high-density glass fabric PCB, which is a high-density glass fabric PCB design that reduces the gaps between the PCB layers to protect the graphics card against electrical shorts caused. And this graphics card or a GPU has a ASRock Tweak 2.0 software, which is to provides the smart fan speed control and instant performance tweaking. And this graphics card or a GPU has a 8K resolution support, which is not only can it handles 4K graphics, but also supports the next generation 8K video output for the ultimate visual experience. And it has a PCI Express 4.0 support, which is this graphics card features PCI Express 4.0 support with a throughput of 16 GT per second and enables 2 times the bandwidth compared to PCI Express 3.0. Get ready for the next generation of PC gaming. And this graphics card or a GPU has a AMD Eyefinity technology features, which is the AMD Eyefinity technology expands the traditional limits of desktop computing by multiplying your screen area. With multiple monitors, games become more immersive, workstations become more useful and you become more productive. And this graphics card or a GPU has a powerhouse performance for 1440p, which is the AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards deliver ultra-high frame rates and serious 4K gameplay. Get the ultimate gaming experience with powerful new compute units, groundbreaking AMD Infinity Cache, and up to 16 GB of dedicated GDDR6 memory. And, when paired with an AMD Ryzen 5000 series desktop processor, AMD Smart Access Memory technology offers new levels of gaming performance. And it has a elevated experiences features, which is to level up to ultimate responsiveness and smooth gaming, with low latency gaming technology from AMD Radeon Anti-Lag and AMD Radeon Boost, and enhance your gaming experience with the latest HDMI 2.1 VRR technology, with over 1300 AMD FreeSync gaming displays to choose from, and support for motherboards with PCIe 4.0 technology. And it has a vivid visuals features, which is the AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards pull you into the action with immersive gaming technologies, and support for DirectX 12 Ultimate. Experience gaming with realistic lighting, shadows, and reflections, along with rich detail, thanks to DirectX Ray Tracing or DXR, Variable Rate Shading or VRS, and AMD Fidelity FX features, optimized for AMD RDNA 2 architecture. And it has a 1 gaming DNA for PCs and consoles, which is the AMD RDNA 2 architecture, as the foundation of next-generation gaming PCs and consoles. It is the bedrock of the upcoming revolution in PC gaming graphics and cloud gaming. AMD RDNA 2 elevates and unifies visual effects and gameplay across multi-gaming platforms, like no other graphics architecture before. And this graphics card or a GPU has a Fidelity FX contrast adaptive sharpening features, which brings out the details. Which means a contrast adaptive sharpening or CAS helps increase visual quality by enabling stunning visual sharpness with optional upscaling to restore detail lost after temporal anti-aliasing or TAA is applied. Which is for games that support Fidelity FX CAS, turning off Radeon image sharpening in Radeon software to avoid over-sharpening is recommended. And this graphics card or a GPU has a Fidelity FX ambient occlusion, which is more realistic geometry shading. Which means the AMD RDNA architecture optimized combined adaptive compute ambient occlusion or CACAO dynamically and efficiently helps improve the appearance of objects based their exposure to ambient light. And this graphics card or a GPU has a Fidelity FX variable shading, which is to get performance with quality. Which means uses AMD RDNA 2 architecture support for variable rate shading or VRS to analyze luminance and motion of frames to help optimize rendering for optimal performance without lowering the image quality. And it has a DirectX Ray Tracing features, which experience the photorealistic games. Which means the DirectX Ray Tracing or DXR adds a new level of graphics realism to games through effects like reflections, shadows, and global illumination at real-time frame rates on AMD Radeon RX 6000 series graphics, thanks to AMD RDNA 2 architecture support for hardware-accelerated ray tracing. And it has a AMD Radeon Software Adrenalin 2021 edition, which is the latest Radeon Software Adrenalin 2021 edition, introduces a completely redesigned user experience, unleashing the full potential of your GPU, with day zero drivers optimized for new game releases, and a highly customizable gaming experience. So that's it for the ASrock Radeon RX 6800 XT Taichi X 16GB OC Edition graphics card or a GPU.
Thank you so much for watching. This is AMPo Tech and I'll see you in the next video.